MBA is often seen as a de facto choice when you do not have any other plans. But does it really make sense to do an MBA after doing an MS? Let's find out. Hi everyone, this is Nistha, the founder of Scholar Strategy, where my motto is life is too short for an uninspired career. If you're here for the first time, I'm a MSCS graduate from UIUC and an MBA dropout from NYU Stern School of Business. On this channel, I talk about career and life advice for not only wealthy careers, but careers that make you feel fulfilled in life. Keep watching. I posted a lot of videos about how to crack top universities for masters in US. That's when I started getting some queries like, shall I do an MBA after masters? Is it okay to do an MBA after masters? And that's when I thought I'll post this video, because I personally did my masters, worked for 3 years, and then went for an MBA. In this video, I'll talk about 3 reasons why you should do an MBA after an MS, 2 scenarios why you should not go for an MBA, and stay tuned till the end because I'll share a secret advice if you're planning to go down this route. 3 reasons why you should do an MBA after an MS. The biggest reason I can think of is coming out of this tech narrow perspective we get as an engineer and get a broader worldview. What do I mean by that? Pure engineering courses do not talk about many real-world relevant topics like how the world works, how the businesses work, or how the people work. For example, even after finishing my MS, I did not feel that I really understand how the stock market operates or how to do a P&L exercise if you're running your own business or how to manage your finances. I felt these topics are extremely important and I want to explore them for the growth of my career. And that was one of the primary driving factors for me going for an MBA, because I did not understand how the business worked. The general management curriculum of the MBA programs gives you a very, very good bird eye view of how different parts of the world work with each other and makes you feel more prepared and confident to tackle those issues at business. But let me give you a disclaimer here. I came from a family where my dad, my granddad, all were government servants, right? But if you're coming from a more business-oriented family, then you might have seen or learned some of these things already in your house. If that's the case, this reason may not exactly apply to you. But for me and for many engineers, I know this makes sense that because MBA lets you get into the management curriculum and understand the real world parts a bit better than what your engineering curriculum exposes you to. This is also my favorite reason. If you want to switch your career stream, then it's very difficult to do it on the job directly. That's why people usually go for a degree or go back to graduate school so that they can get a fresh entry into the job market. In my case, I had a great technical coding kind of a job on Wall Street and I was doing pretty well, but I could not see myself doing that for rest of my life or in long term. I wanted to move to more business-oriented roles. I wanted to start my own startup someday. I am also a creative person who wanted to explore different fields. I felt like MBA could give me that entry into the jobs again. It could let me go back to the companies I want to work with, which in my case were startups, and offer to them a more holistic profile. And I was right in that, because after my MBA, after dropping out of it, I got like 2 job offers actually in my first year itself. And I joined this small startup in a business development and operations kind of a role. I would not have been able to qualify for this role after my engineering degree alone. So I do think that MBA helped me switch gears and move to a different direction in my career. If this is something you're interested in, if you want to explore a different field, then MBA can definitely help you switch directions. This is particularly true if you want to get into a career like management consulting or finance, because those industries primarily look for MBAs and hire from business schools. Many of my classmates from NYU ended up going to these jobs. Also, if you're someone moving from a pure tech role to something like maybe product management, or as I say, business-oriented roles, MBA can polish your profile and it can make you more well-rounded to understand those functions. Thirdly, this is the harsh and real truth that having an MBA can add that bling on your resume so that when you go for your next job interview or any kind of promotion exercise, that helps. Employers, especially in certain traditional industries, do value the degree of an MBA a lot. So if you're just looking to advance your career, MBA can definitely be helpful. And to add this point, if you have done masters from not such an elite school, and if you can do MBA from a better school, then it can again bring you into that tier 1 network. In my case, I had graduated from UIUC, which was world's 5th best school, so I did not need that. But in case I had done my masters from not such an elite school, I would have definitely tried to get into a higher ranked MBA program and push myself back into that alumni network and build those connections that a good brand can help you with. 2 scenarios why you should not go for an MBA. Now let's talk about 2 reasons when you should not do an MBA. And the first is if you want to do a startup. Honestly, you do not need an MBA degree to join a startup or to start your own business. They say that it's best to learn on the job. So if you want to take that plunge, I would say do not spend so much money doing an MBA and go for that directly. Secondly, if you really love the technical field and want to go into research related fields, then MBA is definitely a no. In fact, you should think about pursuing a PhD or a more specialization in your field and go for those elite niche research kind of roles in big R&D labs, etc. You do not need an MBA for that. Just an interesting tidbit, I have seen PhDs also doing an MBA later point, but that works mostly if you want to join hedge funds or the super elite finance domain as a hedge fund researcher or quantitative researcher kind of profile. Then definitely PhD plus MBA can give you that very unique positioning, but it's a long time to commit, so I do not recommend going that route unless you are very clear that that's what you want. Now, my secret success tip, if you are thinking of an MBA, I would highly recommend that you get at least 2 years work experience before joining MBA. And that is because you will not be able to get the maximum benefit out of the MBA. You will not really understand what the professors are talking about or what the case studies are talking about unless you have seen those situations in your own professional life first. Working in any kind of company exposes you to great corporate challenges, which is something that you can discuss and learn when you're doing an MBA. If you're a fresher, you would struggle to understand the relevance of those case studies, those exercises that most of the business curriculum talks about. So highly recommended. Even if you're able to get into top school without I would suggest that you wait, get 2 year work experience, and then only go for an MBA. So that's it from me for today. Don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn as well as Instagram. Our handles are mentioned right here. We do post more interesting comments and content around career advice, MBA, study abroad, life advice, etc. on these channels.